Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Skoda Octavia Family Workshop. Today it's all about the icon of our brand. We have brought you the entire model family, which has never been as wide-ranging as with this generation. We have a limousine. We do have a Combi, of course. We do have a Scout with front or all-wheel drive, with petrol, diesel, and CNG drive, with a mild hybrid technology. Of course, there's a plug-in hybrid, plus the sporty RS models, including the RS IV as the new top model. You are getting the pure product from us today. Not just a virtual experience as in the past weeks and months, but finally live and in full color. Of course, we would have liked to show you our Octavia already in March. The invitations we had sent out to you. We've ordered the fine weather increase, and the cars were ready. And then COVID-19 came and pretty much mixed up all our plans. By the way, this is also the reason why we last met us at the ENIAC IV covered drive in Ireland, and that was already 143 days ago. That's why before we come to the Octavia, I would like to take the opportunity to give you a quick update on Skoda. How have we dealt with this extraordinary situation so far, and how are we positioned for the coming month? Admittedly, we had imagined the start of our anniversary year to be less, let's say, nerve-wracking for all of us. However, we are not going to let the coronavirus pandemic defeat us. Also, and this is, I think, a very important inspiration, there are always great opportunities in situations like this. And perhaps it serves, especially in our anniversary year, as a reminder that together, in 125 years, we have weathered many different storms and, I have to say, emerged even stronger from each one. Right from the beginning, we reacted quickly and, let me say, calmly at the same time, taking due responsibility for our employees, partners, and customers. And that's exactly what defines the Skoda spirit. In such times, we move even more closer together as a big Skoda family. We set up a task force and a crisis team quite quickly. We shut down production in an orderly manner and then restarted again. We've developed a comprehensive safe production and safe office concept to provide the best possible protection for our employees and all our partners. And we developed a package of digital media content such as the entirely virtual world premiere of the Octavia RS IV to make it as easy as possible for you to stay connected to Skoda. In short, Team Skoda is on its feet. The coronavirus has not brought us down to our knees, on the contrary. Physically, the virus had put more distance between us, but at the same time has brought us even closer together. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing is clear. The world after coronavirus is a world with coronavirus. And now we are all learning to deal with it. We must find the balance between humanity, morality, and economy as the foundation for our lives and for our common future. What I mean is, ahead of us as a global community lies a great test of strength. How quickly things will pick up again, however, is anything but clear. Of course, safety of health is of utmost priority. But on the other hand, we hear from the International Monetary Fund that the global economy could shrink by 4.9% this year. And on another hand, the German Business Climate Index, an important indicator for the development of the German economy, rose stronger in June than ever before. That means we are facing a great deal of uncertainty throughout the economic system worldwide, and we can only resolve it, and I'm absolutely convinced about that, if we restore people's confidence. And the best way to do this is boosting the consumption, and with that, the entire circle of economy again. That's why I believe the stimulus programs launched by all the different countries are exactly what we read right now. However, it is also clear that the trillion euro billion debt will restrict states and companies room to move for the years to come. And I'm personally convinced that the consequences of the pandemic will cause greater social upheavals in the future than we can see today. So the solidarity in dealing with the crisis must be even greater in the future than during the pandemic. Now, at Škoda, we have set up an extensive restart program for all dealers in the markets. They are already making an impact, and the figures of June are highly motivating, although we know there is some catch-up movement as well in the market right now. But we are now going to build on this momentum over the coming months. And of course, from a business point of view, our goal is to achieve a positive cash flow towards the end of the year. Not an easy task, but we will do everything to get to it. For us as a car manufacturer, this also raises the question of what greater or general and wider implications the pandemic will have. For us, it was clear that we have to figure this out, and we have set up a fast-forward company project group, a team of experienced managers as well as of young, talented individuals. The goal is here to position Škoda in a way that we emerge from this situation again even stronger as beforehand. And the question is, how are we doing that? We are reviewing our strategy 2025 plus and examining our actions. In which areas can we pick up the pace? What activities need to be reprioritized? And how can we further improve our digital services? These are just some of the questions that we are already intensively discussing and then transforming into specific courses of action for our entire business. One very quick outcome was an even stronger focus on digitalization of all our processes internally and all the customer touch points wherever they are. Regardless of the results of the project group, the conditions are right for quickly tightening our grip again. Now, in recent years, Škoda has been operating soundly. We are strategically well positioned and above all have an attractive modern model portfolio. And now, since all our dealerships have reopened, customers are returning and interest in our products and our models is growing. And this is truly important to us because we are in the middle of the largest product campaign the company has ever seen. From the beginning of 2019 to the end of 2022, we will be launching a total of 30 new models, derivatives, product variants, or upgrades. The lockdown, I have to say, will result in the one or the other minor shifts, but we are clearly sticking to our medium and long-term plans. One of the highlights is, of course, our fully electric Enyaq iV. We are already looking forward to the world premiere in September. It is our first all-electric car that was designed as such from scratch, and we will be making it the flagship of a new era at Škoda. Besides the Enyaq iV, the new Octavia generation is one of the most important new models for us. We have really worked on the core virtues of our icon even better and taken another leap forward in terms of design, connectivity, and safety. Some of you were able to try out the Octavia, but under, let's say, special circumstances. That's why I'm even more pleased that you are all our guests today and that we can give you the opportunity to get an impression to the entire model family. But before we start now the workshops, my colleague Christian Strube, board member responsible for technical development, and Oliver Stefani, head of design, will give you an even more deeper insight into the development of the series, explains the highlights of our all-new Octavia family. And now, ladies and gentlemen, raise the curtain, or better, open the door for the Octavia family.
Thank you, Bernhard, for your nice transition to our most important product family, to our Octavia family. When you talk about our strategy and the future of the brand, I'm also really glad that I'm a part of the Škoda family. For me, the fourth generation Octavia is not only an estate or a saloon, but much more. In more than 60 years, Škoda has sold over 7 million vehicles, 7 million. For me, the Octavia means space, practicality, many simply clever ideas, and most importantly, family. Family, because we always expand this series with special models. The estate and the saloon versions of the new Octavia are well known all over the world, but today we also want to present the technical highlights. This is the first car in Škoda's history to feature mild hybrid technology, meaning the models with a small battery under the passenger seat and a special generator in the front. It offers more efficiency, power, and torque. It also offers an additional feature, a booster function for acceleration, always under the motto, stay economical. With the support of the cooperated energy, Škoda drivers can save up to 10 grams CO2 per kilometer, a great technology that we are bringing to the road with the new Evo drivetrains. The Octavia offers another efficient drive concept. Alongside the more economical diesels, which achieve less than 100 grams CO2. At Škoda it is called G-Tec. CNG technology is well known in the Octavia, but in the combination with super clever aerodynamics and aero wheels, CNG is now even more a perfect product for customers focusing on sustainability. The word emotion is also associated with Škoda. Every Skoda fan knows that emotional products have a long-standing tradition at Skoda. Skoda models have established the RS logo 46 years ago, 46 years. On the racing prototype that you can see behind me, I can promise you that we are continuing this tradition. The new Octavia RS model, once again, offers even more driving pleasure and even more emotions. With the petrol engine, not only the acoustics, but also the thermodynamics have been optimized. And this time, we had to limit the maximum speed to 250 km per hour. The Evo diesel offers 20 Newton-meter more torque, and for aerodynamic reasons, we are now using cooling jalousie and active cooling of the front brakes. Another surprise for Skoda customers is that the RS model is now also available as a plug-in hybrid alternative. Oliver, we often talk about emotion. I think it's much more than power and speed. How do you think about it?
Hello, Christian. Yes, it is more about this, right? And there's two parts, of course. One part is the design, which is very important, very, very important, especially for me. But on the other side is heritage. Heritage is very important because, as you said, we started with using this RS word or logo. We started in 1974, and in '77, Skoda won the Rally Monte Carlo as a RS. And in 2000, we started on the first Octavia RS in this generation, and it was from the start. I think it was really a success, and it was adding to this. Practicality and the functionality and this honest of Skoda Octavia, this emotional component, this driving pleasure. And this is a very nice combination that works very well. And talking about the design, yes, we took the car, which is already very dynamic, and we tried to make it even more dynamic with this typical familiar RS insignias. So let's have a look at the front, and we start here. What, of course, is very important for the RS is that we have this glossy black frame and the glossy black ribs. So this together with the logo, with the VRS logo, is already one of the significant icons on the Octavia. Then it's flanked on the two sides with this beautiful designed sharp full LED headlights. It makes a very nice face. And then also we created a complete new bumper which has this three-hole design. So we make the outer air intakes a little bit bigger. We have a new mesh structure here. So also this looks very mature and sophisticated. And on the bottom we close this with this glossy black spoiler that gives also a lot of whiz to the car. So it's a very strong front, very iconic, and is really recognizable everywhere. When we go to the side, we do this RS style, very, let's say, sophisticated, not too loud. And on the side we have this window finish here, also in glossy black, which is very nice. The same as with this black mirrors, which is also typical for Skoda. And then, of course, what is really important is wheels. Wheels is very important. So we have 19-inch wheels in this typical Skoda RS design. This is also very beautiful, and the car sits really nice on the wheels. So now let's have a look at the interior, because also there we have a lot of things. And first I have to say that the whole interior is kept in some dark trim. Yeah? So we have on this dashboard this beautiful Alcantara finish here with the red stitching. Also we have on the steering wheel, the new steering wheel, which is also very nice. The VRS logo here in the steering wheel. And then of course we have this very comfortable and very sporty seats, and also with the RS logo in the back as you see us. And of course the black liner here in the head. And altogether that makes the car really, really sporty also when you sit in there and you feel it. Coming now to the rear. What we added to this car is this nicely shaped spoiler here. This also works very well with our crystalline design language. Is also working, gives a lot of dynamics, downforce, it's very beautiful. We have the Skoda black lettering here. And of course also a new bumper with this horizontal red stripe that is also very typical for our Skodas. Beautiful designed and shaped pipes in chrome finish, and also again a matte glossy diffuser. And also what we add here, and this is some new element, this little black fins on the side, which has an aerodynamic feature, but also a cool design feature. So all this together gives also a lot of emotion to the car, Christian.
Super, thank you. If anyone asks me about Škoda's four-wheel drive, my immediate response is Scout. With more off-road capability in combination with the poor road package, the Octavia is the ideal companion. With the new 6th generation Haldex, we take a next step forward. Oliver, is this also the case with the design?
Yes, yes. I mean, this is very emotional car, and what we see here, the Skoda Octavia Scout is our multifunctional car. We call it our Swiss knife because it's practical for a lot of different purposes. So also here, when you look at the front, we just added a little bit. We have some new covers here on the lower part of the bumper, also with this nice painted in a bright color element that we have here that gives a little bit more robustness to the car. The car is elevated another 50 millimeters, sits very nice. Big wheels, 19-inch. We have this typical Scout emblem here. And then, of course, we have this cladding that walks around the car. And I have to say, when I look at the car, it really has a nice stance. It's very sophisticated, very beautiful, very believable car it is. I have to say, very nice. So, and when we go to the interior, then we see also here we have this nice seats with this Alcantara finish. Also on the dashboard, you see that we have this Alcantara with this brown stitching, which makes this car nice, and also in combination with this ash brown deco part. It's really beautiful, and you should really try this afterwards. It's very comfortable and feeling very well. So also here coming to the rear, we also changed here the bumper slightly, and just we added also this, what I said, around the wheels, the back panel or the dark panel that runs around the car. And also here some kind of brighter material that indicates also a little bit this robustness. So altogether, very believable. I really like the car, and this could be also my car.
Super. I think we are a good team. Yeah, thank you very much, Oliver. I think now we will come to the most important part of this meeting, to our workshops. Our experts are going to explain you more about the technical details of this car. Thank you for your attention. Yeah,
thank you very much.
I would like to start with the history, because the history of four-wheel drives in Škoda Auto goes way back into 1930s, where the first four-wheel drive vehicles were constructed for the military. Later in 1960s, there were vehicles constructed for agricultural purposes with four-wheel drive, and modern off-road and four-wheel drive history began in 2007, when the first generation of Octavia Scout was produced. It later continued with the second generation of Octavia Scout, and now we have the third generation. Here you can see that with the first two generations we sold more than 100,000 cars around the world. With the second generation, the automatic transmission became more popular, mostly in combination with diesel engines. And with the first two generations we had the four-wheel drive. But now with the third generation we will have also two-wheel drive. It will help us get more customers into our Scout family. Here you can see main top 5 countries with the highest share of Octavia Scout on total sales of Octavia in last year, 2019. It's Sweden, Germany, United Kingdom, Switzerland and Czech Republic. To successfully continue with the story of Scout in Škoda Auto, we specified our target customer, his expectations and demands, and we specified the keys to success, which are above all the drive, as I mentioned already, the four-wheel drive and also the two-wheel drive, unique exterior styling, road holding and handling, and general durability off-road. And as last slide is that we need to focus on our competitors also. It's Ford Focus Active, Toyota Corolla Track and Subaru Outback. The first two offer the two-wheel drive in their cars, and that's also the reason why the third generation of Octavia Scout will have the two-wheel drive also. That's all from my side. Thank you for your attention, and now I will pass my word.
So, thank you. We start firstly with design exterior. You have already the opportunity to hear something from our chef designer, Oliver Stefani. And I would like to shortly repeat with you. The Scout logo is on the side, on the fenders, on the right, on the left side, of course. And in front describes the Scout this special lower elements in the silver color, and it's continued to up with this outside mirrors also with silver cover, and goes to the roof with these rails which are in the aluminum part. In the back we have there also the same design strategy part in the silver part combined with this black one, which goes also on the side to the front, and it's also as a protect part on these wheels. So Scout means also some two separate wheels, alloy wheels, 18 and 19 inch, and the chassis is set up with plus 15 millimeters as an offset. If we go to interior, in interior we have also improved the Scout and brings a lot of new design topics. The most of them are in the cockpit, on the cockpit. In the middle is some specific Scout dashboard cover. This cover corresponds also together with seats, and this and the same material which is on the seats. With the right stitching, the same which is also by the seats. Scout, it means also specific decors, and seats we have in two variants in our offer. Stainless cover on the pedals, and also by this new generation Scout is in cooperation with before version, this stainless footrest. Inner mirror is without frame, and of course you have some unique and specific HMI for Scout version in both displays in the car. It was already everything for design, and we go actually to our engine offer. Scout will be offered with 6 engines, where 3 of them are petrol and 3 are diesel. And here you can see also the combination which are with front or which are as 4x4. Scout, it means also in this generation some innovation. We have completely redesigned this 6th generation of all-wheel drive systems, redesigned this 4x4 clutch, and with the focus for higher efficiency and also for weight reduction. For example, we bring there a new brushless DC engine with integrated control unit, and this improvement is done, for example, by low viscosity oil or additional reduction in this steering. Scout bring also additional driving profile, which is typical by us for SUVs and also for the Scout. It means this off-road profile. It's enable you to some specific setting for the engines and for gearbox, and it's not already everything. This tightening of the seat belts are deactivated. This hill descent assistant is activated, and ambient lighting is adjusted. With this, we can continue to our driving assistants. And of course, at best, I would like to talk and tell you something about each of them, each of these 32 assistant systems, which what we offer by Octavia. But I choose just only 5 of these, and what I mean that is the most typical and important for the car. The first of them is Travel Assist 2.0. This Travel Assist combine the more assistance systems, which the high meaning with this system has this Lane Assist Plus and Predictive ACC. It goes just through some cooperation between these both sensors and control units in the car of this camera and radar in the front, and it's enabled to driver through just only one button on the steering wheel, activate the systems, and you have complete car with these systems and additional in the activation and in the using. You can use it for different situation on the roads, on the highways, with this constructions area, or in the traffic jam, or stop and go in the cities. And these systems also recognize the objects or cars or trucks in front of you or on side of you, and brings this visualization in this digital cockpit. As you can see on the picture on the right side, that you see if it's a truck or bicycle, and it's improve your safety and your safety feeling in the car. This system cannot work without a new technology of the steering wheel, capacity steering wheel, and it's enable the hands detection on the steering wheel. And here we know exactly if you touch the steering wheel or not. Before it was some mathematical calculation. Next system, which support your drive, is side assist. We improve them with two new radar technology, with higher range distance up to 70 meters, and also the system better recognize your speed and the speed of the objects which are behind you or next to you. And the visualization or a warning, we have moved from the glass of the mirror to the cover of the mirror on the side. New assistant is turn assistant, and it's support you by the crossroad and avoid the collisions, and activation is during the turn lines and your speed between 2 up to 15 kilometers per hour. It goes solely to safety. Also with this safety block, we have improved the crew protect assistant, and we offer new technology, not just only in the front, but also from the rear and roll over. The preparation for this crisis situation is same as up to now for front. It means that your safety seat belts are fastened, windows and sunroof are closed, and warning lights are activated. And last of assistance system, what about I would like to talk is this light assistant. It's supported from Matrix beam solution, which is completely new by Octavia, and through this 2-row LED Matrix enable more functionality. For example, you can dim the oncoming objects on the roads. It means from the cars which are going up to you or which are in front of you, or some reflections on the roads, and it will be dimmed. Not just only one, but more of them, and it's improve also safety on the roads and also the comfortability of the driving.
My name is Radek Spitz and I'm working on the product marketing. Let me briefly start with the history of Škoda. The history of the Škoda Motorsport is very, very long and full of the success. I would like to firstly point it out 1930s, when the Škoda won the Monte Carlo Rally with the Škoda Popular. The next milestone was the 1962, when the victory was repeated by the Škoda Octavia Touring Sport. The Touring Sport was the first racing model of the Octavia. From the 1974 was the RS badge used to mark the racing specials of the Škoda brand. It was already mentioned in the main presentation actually, but for the example it was used on the Škoda 180 RS and Škoda 130 RS Rally. In the modern history, it was the year 2000 when the first generation was produced. It started the success tradition which continues throughout the generations until now. As a proof of the success, it might serve the overview of the sales. As you can see, in case of the third generation of Octavia RS, the sales are 10 times more higher than in case of the first generation. The most popular specification of the third generation of RS is with the diesel engine, automatic gearbox and front-wheel drive. There you can see the top 5 countries with the highest share of the Octavia RS on the total sales of Octavia in 2019. Based on the numbers, you can figure out that in Germany and Switzerland, it was every 6th Octavia was Octavia RS. In case of the United Kingdom and Austria, it was every 10th Octavia. To be able to continue in the success story, we need to identify the target customer and his or her demands and expectations. The reasons to buy the new Octavia RS are mainly power, performance, exterior design, and last but not least, value for money. We should not forget on our competitors. The competition in this segment is very strong. Here you can see the main competitors, and the key ones are Hyundai i30N, Ford Focus ST, and Kia Ceed GT. That was all from my side. I would like to thank you for your attention, and now I will pass the word to my colleague Adam.
Thank you, Radku. When you see new Octavia RS, you can definitely tell from the first glimpse that it's different from the standard one, as it gets a new RS designed bumper, including the black grille with RS logo. The rear mirror covers are also black, and we decided to give new RS this black package based on the experience from the previous generation. We had both chrome and black variant, and the vast majority of customers wanted a black styling, so we decided to make the new Octavia always with this package. The fog lights, which are LED, are also specific to the RS, and of course the design is even stressed by the specific RS wheels, which are either 18-inch or 19-inch size. The new wheels have also been optimized in terms of the aerodynamics, so they have a better values of the drag coefficient, and they contribute to better fuel economy of the car. From the rear side, it's easy to spot the specific RS bumper with this known white reflection bar, which comes in a similar way from the previous Octavia RS, and it can also be seen in case of the Kodiaq RS. Octavia RS also gets 2 visible steel end pipes, black lettering, so it means black Škoda description, and the logos, and the spoiler, which is also black. And it's not just the design thing, but it has some real contribution in terms of driving stability and the downforce. Looking into interior, it's easy to spot a new steering wheel. The steering wheel is 3-spoke compared to the standard Octavia. It has a perforated leather and RS logo. A unique feature we brought to the new RS is the Alcantara dashboard cover with a contrast stitching, and also the Alcantara door panels. No other Octavia has this feature, so it's unique to RS. RS always gets also the RS specific graphics, and it's also always digital. You also get the stainless steel pedals and footrest. And if we see the dashboard in detail, RS always has 10-inch infotainment with specific RS HMI or the RS design. The dashboard decor is also specific with RS carbon-like design, and it's underlined by the ambient lighting. Of course, for RS you get always the sporty seats. The basic one, the fabric, as you might have seen here in the car shown, are also can be changed to the optional version, which is Alcantara and leather. These seats are also ergonomic. What does it mean? They have this adjustable seat length, and they have a massage function in the back footrest. So this is from what you can see in RS with your own eyes. Now we have some more interesting features under the bonnet. When we talk about the technology, we definitely need to start with the engines. For the first time in history, we have 3 different concepts for the new RS. The first one is petrol, new evolution of the 2-liter TSI engine with 180 kilowatts. Then a new Evo diesel. You have already heard in the previous presentation about the new Evo diesels. So this is the top version of them. It has 147 kilowatts and 400 Newton meters. And for the first time in history of RS, we have the plug-in hybrid. It has system output of 180 kilowatts and 400 Newton meters. In addition to that, RS gets also the performance brakes. They have front disc in size 340 millimeters and the rear is 310 millimeters. Every RS has a sport suspension. It means you always get the multi-link rear axle and specific dampers and springs. These are with RS characteristics and fit to every variant based on the weight of the car and the power. For the TDI and TSI, we have a lower ride height by 15 millimeters, and for every version you can get the optional DCC suspension, which has the electronically controlled adaptive dampers. Every RS also gets the progressive steering and the limited slip differential, which is offered. It's not for every RS, it's for the 2-liter TSI with the front-wheel drive. So about these 2 features, I would like to talk a little bit more in detail. So if we start with the limited slip differential, it's internally we call it VAQ, it's Vorderachsquersperre, probably doesn't need any translation for you. It's based on the 6th generation of electro-hydraulic multiplate clutch, which using the integrated control unit allows us to link the planetary gear with the differential cage and do the predictive torque management on the front wheels. So with this we can prevent the traction problems which would normally occur with the open differential. Some of these examples, when cornering, going through the corner in a fast way, it can happen that you can the inner wheel loses the traction because of the weight distribution. So this device is able to steer the torque on the outer wheel, which has better traction and helps to drive efficiently through the corner. The second case could be that when you're driving on slippery surface with lower adhesion, if one wheel, let's say it's this one, starts to lose traction, you are still able to accelerate because the differential puts the torque on the second wheel with better traction. This device, compared to the known system XDS Plus, which uses brakes in order to simulate this function, this device is more robust. It's more suitable for the sports driving, and it has also much better performance. It can bear up to 1,600 Newton meters compared to 500 Newton meters of the XDS Plus. It has 2 driving modes, which you select in your car based on the driving mode. It's normal and the sport. In sport, the function of the differential is more visible. You can feel it better. And as I said, it has a predictive function as well. So in situations where you still not lose the traction, but you might, the differential can be active even before some problems occur. The progressive steering. This is a function or equipment which gets every new Octavia RS, and compared to the standard one, it's different in 2 ways. It has a lower steering ratio, so it means that you have only 2.1 turns from one attempt to another, compared to 2.7 in case of the standard steering, and it has a progressive gearing ratio. This is illustrated here. What does it mean? When you drive in direct way, for example on highway, the steering ratio is very comparable to the standard steering. It provides the car to feel relatively stable. It doesn't react too fast on little changes in the steering wheel. But as soon as you start cornering, then the progression is much more significant, and the car responds better to your orders through the steering wheel. So it comes handy when you're driving in a sporty way either, or just when you maneuver in the city and you need to do the cornering. It's easy with this steering. A very new feature I would like to introduce you with the new Octavia RS is the central airbag. Octavia will be the first Škoda to introduce this new safety equipment. And what does it actually is? The central airbag is a new airbag which is hidden in the right side of the driver's seat, and it opens to protect customers in case of the side crash, either far or near side, where it can happen that the passengers get injured by each other, by hitting each other, either by head or their body. And when we get this center airbag in the middle of them, we can protect them from these kind of injuries. So we decided to offer this equipment to every new Octavia Scout and RS as a standard equipment. So in total you can get up to 10 airbags now. For the remaining Octavias, we will offer this equipment as an optional, and it will be available at the end of this year. So I'm almost at the end of my presentation. To sum it up, the most important facts: the new RS will come with 5 different powertrain options. 2 of them are petrol, 2 are diesel, and the new is the plug-in hybrid. All of these engines are either new or significantly reworked in order to provide even better driving experience and also fuel economy, inclusive reduced CO2. And the production of the car will start this year in September. A few weeks later, we will add the diesel version and the petrol with manual transmission.
So, okay. Hello everybody, my name is Ondřej Dostal. I'm working in technical development. I'm responsible for engine development, engine testing, calibration, ECU calibration and so on. Actual time, really popular topic. I will try to explain some highlights from Powertrain, from our new Škoda Octavia. Let me start with the first chart. Here you can see actual portfolio of engine. We have now 3 engines. The others will follow in this year. Of course, here is a CO2 practically efficiency. We can see here from European Union fleet CO2 emission target for 2020. Of course, the target can change to 2025 or 2030. Now it's looking this, and you can see that the diesel engine is really good on the way, that with 91 and 96 gram are practically under the target, are helping other projects like petrol engine to fulfill the emission target. I would say the diesel engine in a new Octavia with this fuel consumption are really amazing. You can drive later. You can have a look on the dashboard, and really by normal driving you can find out such a nice fuel consumption. The next chart is showing the actual word NEDC. So the values are practically here in NEDC word, and the WLTP word is coming. You can see that there is quite big offset, and the customer which is buying this car with, we can say 91 gram. Next year in 2021 will buy the same car in WLTP with 110 grams. So it's only communication issue, and of course we have to be used to new word and new communication. So that's why I want to mention that we are living in 2 worlds, and the WLTP values are coming next year. Here you can see the completely overview, which is now in plan for new Octavia. We can say that 7 engine gearbox combination offers CO2 value in NEDC under 100 gram. So there are those green ones, which are practically in a table. You can see that we have all combination, manual front-wheel drive, automatic transmission front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive with automatic transmission. We have solution like E-Tec, we call it E-Tec, I will mention later. This is a mild hybrid. We have CNG, we have Scout in manual front-wheel drive. With mild hub, we have RS model, and of course, we offer a plug-in hybrid in two variants, 150 and 180 kilowatt as a RS. Next chart, I will like to mention the new generation of diesel engine. We call it Evo. This is a completely new. We have two solutions. We have some efficient solution and some performance solution. The efficient solution is 85 and 110 kilowatts, and the performance solution is 147 kilowatt. They are different from construction side. For example, in efficient variant, we have steel pistons and different crankcase and crankshaft mechanism or drive. In a performance variant, we have made of aluminium. We can say that benefit to predecessor diesel engine is 10 grams CO2. And of course, it's still most efficient combustion engine. So you can compare, for example, to petrol engine that the benefit is 15 to 20% consumption or in a consumption. The torque has risen. We have now 400 Newton meters, and the injection pressure is 2,200 bar. And what's really new is a new exhaust after treatment system. We call it SCR twin dosing. So we are putting the SCR in two places. The main idea is that we want to gain more reduction temperature frame, I would say, because the SCR reaction is working until 450, 500 degrees of Celsius, and if you go really with full load with this car and you are doing SCR close to engine, you are not able to be so efficient with NOx reduction. So that's why we gain about 100 degrees of Celsius that we moved practically under the floor in the car. This is the second place, and the values are really amazing because we are speaking sometimes in real driving under 10 milligrams per kilometer, which is practically comparable to petrol engine. So it's just close to zero emission. So really efficient system to reduce the NOx emission. The next issue or next highlights you can see here. This is a new cooling jalousie module which is practically implemented in a car. We put it in a bottom because we are always evaluating which place is biggest benefit. Of course, you can close everything, but it's from cost perspective quite expensive. And you can have some troubles if, for example, will frozen completely grilled, that the car in Scandinavian or something like this could have problem because the customer can overheat the car because some ice can be here. But if you go just only partially, that the front grille is still working as a fail-safe solution, and you practically will gain through the benefit from closing the square in a bumper. The new one on this is that we can close partially. So there is a model which is calculating all the situation and is adapting to situation to the car. Of course, if we have the regeneration of particle filter, that it's open, if we are braking, if we are chilling at stop phase, and so on. So this is a really good, quite applicated logic behind this, and it's intelligent. And we are using all benefit practically from CW potential, which is offering this solution. Some couple topic, I would say, which is working with cooling jalousie is a so-called compactor. It's a patented solution. It's some kind of sealing of cooling module in a front end. This solution, it's combined with brake cooling. So we are using efficiently the air which is practically entering from the front, not side on the brake channel or something like this. And we are efficiently using this air. The next benefit is that if the car is standing and the ventilator are running, for example, for air condition, you can cool the brake as well. By normal channel is not possible because you have to drive. So this is a patented solution by Škoda as well. And for using this air which is going through the front part, is really the most of this used for everything. So this is a CW potential. Of course, everything what is going through is negative for CW. So when going inside, then use most efficient as possible. So the next slide is some mention about the new generation of gearbox. We call it internally MQ281. Of course, what can you improve on the manual gearbox? So is a power torque is now up to 340 Newton meter. This in the past should be covered by old generation. We call it MQ350, which is practically 3 shafts gearbox. Every shaft is loss, friction, bearings, oil, and so on. So this gearbox has practically higher torque and low CO2 negative impact on the car. So it's combined with some engines which are still rising the Newton meters higher. So it practically was the task to develop some gearbox which is 2 shifts and is able to cover this 350 or 340 Newton meters. The next slide is a small mention. You have already seen general presentation. We have now first time in our Octavia mild hybrid function, which is working with 48 volt architecture. In only here setup, battery under passenger seat, converter and belt driven generator. This is offering customer CO2 emission reduction, of course coasting with engine off, which is quite interesting that the engine shut down. Then the comfortable engine start and shut down because the BSG is working as a starter, and the boost is several seconds, but is helping 1.0 TSI and 1.5 TSI engine to drive off, or for example that the torque is practically rising faster. Negative on this is that if you want to recuperate the energy, that you always have to start the engine because otherwise the belt-driven generator is not working. So this is a negative side on this concept. The positive side, that's a quite simple, robust solution, and of course it's not so much costs intensive like plug-in or something like this, or high voltage systems. But it's bringing electric power 12 kilowatts, about 50 or 60 Newton meters, and I think for such a engine 1.0 TSI good support to work together. Next chart is regarding plug-in hybrid. We have now 2 variants, 150 conventional, 180 as a RS. Both are working with 1.4 TSI engine. which is an emission norm EU 6AP. The power it's counting together, so the system power is already counted 110 plus 85, and this is system power practically 150. Max speed is not so much different by both this car, but system torque is about 50 Newton meters higher. I think it's a good solution for sporting and CO2 effective car. This is a combination. Of course, at least from the point of view of legislation now, which is practically now working. Small mention about natural gas engine is not so much new to predecessor. We have 3 tanks, 2 from them are composite multi-layer and 1 metal CNG tanks. We have 17 kilograms. The new is the issue with implemented compulsory check of CNG that is really hard, that the customer needs to go to service and to do the inspection check is signed on a dashboard. Of course, you have to consider that it's not only CNG, is a kind of biomethane and renewable energies like synthetic methane. And I think this, with this combination of renewable energy is a quite good solution or alternative to battery electric vehicles because it's working with renewable energy. Last mention to chassis and wheel highlights. So the big advantage on the new Octavia that the wheel diameter increased by 20 millimeters. So we have now 665 on a diameter. Of course, you gain the benefit that the sidewall is higher on the tire, which is bringing more comfort even when you are using 19 inches rims. So this is, I think, the biggest benefit. We have now in program 11 rims, including RS and Scout. And of course, CO2 is everywhere, so we have improved the ventilation losses, and the design of the rims are practically that we aerodynamic influence we have reduced by 50 or 60%. If you have 16, 17 tires, they are mostly A-label, rolling resistance 6.5 per mile. The 18, 19 are 7, and this practically caused that we drop down by 3 grams per kilometer. We have some special performance tire for RS because it's always trade-off between efficiency and performance. So if the tire is good rolling resistance, then it's worse for performance. So you need just find out some trade-off that the customer which order RS car, of course, needs performance, not so much efficiency. Otherwise, he will be ordering anything else.
Hello everybody, my name is Bernhard and I will speak about the Infotainment HMI. Infotainment Columbus comes with 10-inch display with just 2 hard keys, home and menu. There is also the one-zone touch slider under the display for volume control. With this touch slider is also possible to control temperature and zooming the map. Lower in the interior are direct entry buttons. User has the possibility to fully customize his home screen and menu. He can change the position of the icons, he can change content of the tiles and their sizes. Air conditioning is fully integrated into the display. User can on first level control the temperature, seat heating and seat ventilation. There is also the fast link to the Klima menu. User can add his favorite functions to the control center. Control center can be activated by swiping from the top of the screen to the bottom. there is 6 places for favorite functions. Direct entry buttons opens specific screen in the infotainment. For example, buttons car set opens the screen that summarize all vehicle settings and also settings for the assistance systems. There is also the button for the driving mode selection, for the parking and air conditioning. Screen layout using the tabs on left side. By changing the tab, the content on the right side is also changed. In the infotainment is used animated 3D car model. There are transitions, for example, between exterior and interior. System recognizes 3D gestures. For example, swiping hand in front of display, user can change the page. User has the possibility to choose one of the 10 predefined background images according his mood or wish. It is everything from my side, and I will give word to my colleague.
I would like to say a few words about head-up display and digital cockpit in new Skoda Octavia. First time in Skoda, we are introducing head-up display. From technology point of view, it is the windshield head-up. And basically we are showing 3 groups of information here. At the left side, the assistance overview, in the middle, the speed and the road signs recognized, and at the right, active RGI navigation data, road guidance information data. You can disable these 2 if you want through the infotainment. We are moving on to the digital cockpit. Our biggest highlight here is new control concept. We have simplified according to the driver needs all the content to the 4 topics, 4 themes, and user can directly switch among them through the steering wheel. The difference in comparison with previous Octavia is that there are no contexts. It means you had to switch the view and beneath them the context. Now it's predefined directly. We have 4 basic themes: the classic, assistance, navigation, and basic one. Another feature is personalization. You can select the backgrounds according to your wish or your mood. And another feature is 3D assistant driver view. Purpose of this is to show as many information about assistance as possible and to keep driver satisfaction with the assistance, let's say. So you can see it's 3D and real-time rendered and full screen. You can see all the traffic which is around you real time, shape of the road, status of the assistance and so on. Now we are moving to the RS specific features. For the RS models we had new specific sporty look and feel, the skin of the whole cluster, of the whole digital cockpit. And for the IV models, you have in the left gauge also the indication of the electric engine. And last but not least, for the RS models, we are introducing new sport view. Besides sporty look and feel graphics and, for example, linear RPM bar graph, user can use also the indication of the actual power and actual oil temperature. So that was it from my side, and I would like to give over to my colleague Jan Kolinsky.
We look together for the Skoda Connect. There are services inside and outside the car. And probably if you know from another our model, We have the Car Connect, proactive services and remote access. When something happened, you can push the button and call some people from service. This is the roadside assistant or info call if you need some information from us. We made some improvement regarding remote services. Our system is currently quickly due to setup of new technology, some QTT protocols and so on. For example, open the car, remote unplug the car via smartphone, or honk and flash if you would like find the car on the park place before some big shopping center and you cannot remember where is my car. For these hybrid services or hybrid cars, they are not only the safe planet and green services, but also you can use these services for your convenience. Also in this years period, outside is 30 degrees, inside the cars 50 degrees, you can use the functionality pre-trip climatization, and your cars will be set on, or the temperatures in your car will be set on 20 degrees, or what is your task. Infotainment online, there are the services inside the car. Line map will be updated every day, every hour, every minute. Online route calculation, traffic information, it's what you know from your smartphone. What is something new for Škoda is this internet radio. Also, if you go from Bratislava or Germany or Great Britain, you can hear your favorite radio station. Also into Prague or into area of Mladá Boleslav. Last but not least, for also convenience, the customer, if you use the car or more cars in the family or in your company, more Octavias, you are accessed via your account in your car, and then automatically is backend or cloud services. The car set your seat, your mirror, your infotainment after that, and a virtual cockpit, for example. And then our car is also with you in another physical car. And another functionality will be presented from Petr Kredba.
So, hello everyone, my name is Petr Kredba. I am from technical development, and I will continue in the presentation about Škoda Connect. And in my part of the presentation I will focus more on the application, but in that first point I will stay still in the car. In the Octavia family, if you have the navigation system, there is an in-car shop. In-car shop which was already presented on Scala and Kamik. It is a feature which allows to the user to prolong the services, that you can prolong the online services for the car. You can buy the data in the data plan. There are the several data packages which can be bought and which can be then used for a WLAN hotspot or as a source of the data, for example, for internet radio, one of the new features in the Octavia car. But what is, let's say, new in the Octavia, there is more focus on the function on demand. So in the Octavia, you can buy the several products directly from the car, directly from the in-car shop. For example, ambient lighting. It is a feature that if you buy the car, you have 10 colors available for ambient lighting, and with that feature, you can buy additional 20. Similar with the high beam color, car is already equipped with the light, obviously, but you can unlock this feature which allow you to use the automatic activation and deactivation of the light. And everything is done directly from your car, directly from the shop. It's similar like a buying of the features in your cell phone. Now I will jump to the mobile application, to application Skoda Connect, which is a natural part of our Skoda Connect solution. Skoda Connect application. Several months ago, we released a new version of this application. From the perspective of the graphic, it was more or less same, but from the technical perspective, it's completely different. It's based on a different approach for development, and it allowed us to add the new features. So we can easily add the new add-ons, new features, and not only the features which are connected with the car, but also the features which are let's say, digital services, part of the digital services. One of the examples of the new features which is coming with the Octavia family, it's an online air conditioning, or so-called pre-trip climatization. So if you have Octavia IV, you can set up in your application the time of your departure to your office, and the car will be cooled or heated to the set temperature based on the timer in the car, or the timer which was set in the application. If you have auxiliary heater, also the auxiliary heater can be used for heating. What is also new in the Octavia is feature which is called online ventilation, and this is a feature which is not specific for IB variant, but it can be also available in the car with a combustion engine, and it's something similar. So remotely you can start the ventilation of your car. So the ventilators in the car are started, and the temperature is getting lower. What it can be the next example of the new features which is coming with the Octavia family, it's a POI destination import. So again, in the Octavia, you like a user, you have a chance to send the destination to your navigation system, to your infotainment system. So in the application, you can choose the address and send the address to the car and start the navigation to that address. But what is new? The new is that you can, for example, start the search for the nearby parking places. Parking places which are coming from Parkopedia. So Parkopedia, it's a company which is providing the information about the parking spaces on street, and also the parking spaces in the parking houses. In the bigger cities, there are also the information about the available parking spaces. It's how it depends city by city. What is also new here, in the nearby, you can start the searching from the Google POI. So we are using the Google engine as a source of the data for this POI destination import. A lot of information like a fuel station, even the information about the for CNG cars and so on. For an IV car, we plan to add into this application searching for a charging station, which will be part of the Skoda solution. This feature will come in the next few weeks and will be automatically available in the application, and you will be able to send this charging station into your IV variant.